we were just discussing where had we actually left off because it's been a while. It's been a few weeks. Christmas holiday, New Year, and there's Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. All right. So we're getting a full house after all. Happy New Year. So, yeah, we had been on chapter 21, which is the imperative, and we had dealt with the positive imperative. In other words, telling somebody to do something, which, just to briefly cover the basics again, for a lot of verbs just looks like the verb stem, like sejum, listen. And for many verbs you get a little e in front of it, which also shows up for some of them in Coptic. Like, for example, jo is to say, older jed, but say as an imperative becomes aji, or in Coptic, in earlier Egyptian, late Egyptian, Ejet with a little pathetic yod, which is spelled with the little yod and the A2 man consistently. Or, well, if I say consistently, the spelling is the same, but sometimes verbs show it, sometimes verbs don't show it. That, yeah, depends a little bit on the text. But if you see it, well, at the beginning of a sentence, quite often that is the imperative. A few verbs have special imperatives, namely to come, not what you would expect from just looking at E, and also to give. This very common, yeah, imem, I guess, or imi. The ein is not pronounced. It's just part of the second M, so to say. All right. So these are like the very basics. Imperative can alternate with the subjunctive. You can just basically, you can be more polite and use like a subjunctive sejum F and say, Sejmek, may you listen? Or I can just say, Sejum, listen. I mean, depends on whom you're talking to. Obviously, if you're going to be talking to, if you're not a god and you're talking to a god, or if you're talking to a royal, obviously you're going to be using the subjunctive more than the imperative. Yeah, that's like the very basics. We covered that the combination of emi to give, I mean give imperative plus subjunctive is very common. Emi into something something, give that one brings, and then whatever you're supposed to bring. Emi ir, emi iref, give give that he may do, in other words, let him do something. This combination of an imperative in front of to give plus subjunctive, that's very common. You'll see that very often. Imi jedu, make that they say, or give that they say, I should say. Give that they say. Again, that's a subjunctive here. Jedu, that they may say. Again, same thing. Let them say, make them say, etc. You can also use a little particle called, I mean, the to, or an ethical dative, an ek, for example. You can use those to reinforce the imperative. And there's also a particle me, which you can also use. We covered a few examples of that last time. So if you see those, that's just reinforcing the fact that this is an imperative. How to translate them into English, then already, depending on context, basically, it's just, or you can leave it untranslated. It's just reinforcing the fact that you're giving a command. Any questions so far? I've just rattled off what we talked about the last time. If not, what we haven't talked about, oh wait, before I go there, I think I had an example. Yeah, I had an example sentence. Actually, there's only one imperative in there, but might do it as well, just for warm up. This is from the Doomed Prince. And there's like a whole mix of different verb forms in there. Let's go over that, and then I would like to switch over to the negative imperative, how to tell somebody not to do something. But before we do that, anybody wants to try the whole thing or half of it, please go ahead. And I'll make it a bit bigger. And look for the transliteration. Maybe somebody wants to take the first half.
I'll try.
All right.
Iwf her jydyn pai Sejam ui n nebi. Not sure what that is. Something of. I'll do that bit.
This one we haven't covered yet. Guess is side. It's spelled like an M. It looks like it was like an alternative M, but it isn't. It's guess. Guess is the side. Can also be the word for half, but that's not what it is here. Here it is side. And not just any side, but guess.
Yeah, his side.
Correct. Guess if. Very good.
So this is then a command. So
It's not.
it's not.
It's
Okay,
not.
fine.
If you look for
Something.
one, you won't find one. I took the whole narrative passage just for practice.
Okay, so I can't remember what you is. So I can say, so he,
Mm-hmm.
upon saying of this, heard us and see something, I don't know, God do something him.
Okay, let me help you out because there's one vocabulary trick in there. So it started off well, you said, and then he what? He jed?
It said,
He said, yeah. I'm not
um,
wearing my headset today, so I'll have to ask a little bit once in a while. So he said, and then en pai
to
legimo.
to to this him, to this it, pi
Oh, this is like pef in Coptic. Um,
his
his, you're right, to his. Another thing you
his
need to know, and I didn't gloss it, sejmu is a follower. Literally somebody who listens to you, namely your every command. So he's like your attendant or your follower, your retinue. So he said
followers, plural,
to his follower, yeah, that's right. And not
follower,
the
singular.
follower, but the follower enti gesif. Enti ergesif.
Something do something it.
Not quite. What is neti?
Can't remember.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
Um,
God,
Not, no, you're thinking of Netshot. No, Neti. Neti is et in Coptic, the relative pronoun.
who
Correct. He said to his follower, and the follower ergesef.
did something it.
Close. Er is the preposition, like a in Coptic.
S- so is it two?
Correct. To, and guess what side?
Oh, so I didn't quite understand what you meant by side. So Gusif, his side, you mean?
To his side. And what you have to remember is that there is no to be
Who was, and he said to his follower who was at his side.
you got it. Perfect. That's exactly what it is. So I just took the whole narrative passage here, even though there's only one imperative in there. But I just thought there's so many interesting verb forms in here and whatnot. So yeah, you have like a you have said is jed, like a basic narrative tense here to his follower. Like you said, there's like a little relative sentence built into that. Who was at his side? The was isn't really there. You just have to know because it's not expressed like in so many languages. Very good job.
Quick question.
Of course,
This Sujamu, so it says follower, but is it really the ones who listen?
it is. It's some kind of participle, I guess. The one who listens. Just like when you would say in English to his attendant. I mean, literally, attendant is a participle of to attend. So it's the same thing. I
Or you
guess
could
a
say to
retainer is somebody you retain. Mhm.
the one who obeyed him, because to hear is to obey, to listen.
Exactly. That's what it is. Cool. All right. Great job. Who wants to take the next one as to what he actually then said? And I guess I should have put a question mark here instead of a, because
I
it's a
can try
question. Okay.
it. Ich panetti,
Just a moment. I'm too slow. Ich, yeah,
Hashemet,
that's right.
Emsa,
Emsa, very good.
Pa C or S, however.
I think it's just, yeah.
Yeah. Neti meet. Herta. Me. Is it me what? Or
I think it's just meat. Yeah.
meet? Okay. That's a word for road?
Exactly. It is.
Okay. Did not know that one. So what
Well, let me write it down.
what is this that is coming at the back behind coming behind the man, the great man, who is coming. I think Shemet is something not other than coming. I think I should have translated that differently.
Following.
Following, okay. Who is coming?
Right. So this is not following. Walking or going. Walking. Yeah.
Okay. Who is coming on the road or path?
That is correct. All right. So what is this that is going behind the great man, tall man? In this case, I would say tall. It's probably from context. Behind the tall man who's coming on the road, who's coming our way on the road, basically. Yeah, that's what he says to his follower, the prince. Now let me quickly look up the word for road, just to make sure I have that correctly. I think it's moed in Coptic. Ramesses online.
And the T comes after the determinative?
It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good point. Let's see. Nope, that's not it. Shema.
Yep.
There it is. And yes, it does come after the apparently. It does come after the way sign. It's really spelled phonetically. You just have a little way sign in the middle because that's what it means. Yeah, seems to be fairly consistent, actually.
I don't think I've ever seen that word before. Cool.
I think it's, I don't hold me to that, but I think it's more late Egyptian than classical. And just for the fun of it, since we're on it, we have a bit of time today. I'll just see whether it comes up as path. Here it is, moit. There it is. Now, the thing that's a bit weird is why does it still have its T? That doesn't make a lot of sense because final T should fall off. So that is interesting. There's Mädchen. I'm wondering if there's something more complicated going on. By the way, if I haven't mentioned it before, the Coptic dictionary now has demotic and hieroglyphic etymologies, which is just fantastic. So you can click straight from here to the TLA, or you could go straight from here to, oops, I lost it because it really did go straight there, but you can go back, or you can go to the DPD. No, you can't go to the DPDP. You can go to the demotic section of the TLA. Also good. For some reason, this has a T. Interesting. I'll have to look into that, why that is. But yeah, that's our word here. In any case, that's a great addition. I just love that. Getting more and more interconnected. But back to our text. So where are we? Yeah. So great job. What is this that's coming behind that tall man who's walking our way or who's coming our way? Let's see what the attendant has to say, and then we finally get to our imperative.
So it's EUF, HJDNF.
That's correct. Hang on. Give me a moment. UF, HJD, NF. Yes.
Chesem Pi.
That's right. We had that sentence like in lesson 1 or something very early at the beginning. Okay.
So he said to him, it's a dog.
That's correct. All right. Great job. Oh, I should write that down, shouldn't I? And he said to him, it's a dog. A basic nominal sentence, or this is a dog, basically. Because you could just say chasm, actually, in late Egyptian. You don't need the pi. It's not like in Coptic where you need a pe, or it's not like in Middle Egyptian where you need a pu there. You could do it
I was
without.
just going to ask about that. Do they still use poo in that way in late Egyptian or
Not
no?
really, no, not anymore. Not for late Egyptian. If you want to, you can use pi nai. But if you just want to say this is X, you can just say X, full stop, which is interesting. Feels counterintuitive because all the other stages of Egyptian do it differently. You need some kind of copula. Why has our young prince here never seen a dog? That is not by accident. It's a fairy tale, and the story is basically at his birth, the Hathors show up and basically prognosticate that he's going to die either of the dog, I think the snake, or the crocodile. One of the three is going to be his fate. And so, of course, the parents do everything to keep him away from these things. So he's never seen a dog. Now he's standing on top of the roof of the building or whatever. He sees one, he's curious, and that's what his retainer said. So let's continue there.
I can go.
All right.
All right. So we have E03,
Oops.
and
Sorry.
this looks like Gedu or Geridu. Gedu. I think it's Gedu.
Let's see. Yes, Geredu. I think the
Gedu.
W is not pronounced, so I'll just go with Pachered.
Okay. Her, Jet and F.
Mhm.
Want to go to the next one or just go ahead and translate?
Oh, look, as you wish.
Okay. And I want to say royal child, but I see the bird on a stick behind him. So
That
Yes,
is
sir.
true. Although honestly, I don't think it's pronounced. I think it's just the child. But if you wanted to put a royal in English, I guess that's okay. It's not there. It just says the
and the
child.
boy.
Mhm.
All right. And the child said to him,
Very good.
Emi. Oh no, not Emi. Im.
Yeah, or Emi, honestly. I think that I would have said Emi. Either is fine. It's kind of, oops, sorry. Keep missing here. Bear with me. Okay. Emi.
Im. Eni. Tu eni. Emi tu eni. Wa. Ni. It looks like a wave of water beneath it. Is it? Yeah, wave of water. Yep. Mikedef.
Do you know Miked?
No, the cat words they always kill me.
So me is classical for like, right? But by this
Mhm.
point in time, we use Mikedu a lot, which is basically like. And then you can put a suffix pronoun after that, like in this case, Mikedev.
So that whole thing, Miked, is a long-winded way of saying like or
It's just the word like, yeah.
like. Okay. 'Cause I know sometimes me in Middle Egyptian is like or as or
Right, right. And they have
Mikedef.
two expressions. I try to think of it. Miked is one, and there's one more that now escapes me, but they're like two of these compound expressions to basically say that something is like or the same as something else. Okay. What do you make out of the whole thing?
And the child said to him, oh no, that's separate. Okay. Bring to me.
Almost. What
No,
is
not bring. Oh, I drew a blank just that quick. Come, right? Oh, emi through. This is imperative. Come, right?
Yeah, just the other one. They're two irregular ones. One is come, and the other one is
So this is acting as a call. Like ready.
not quite, not quite. It's the imperative of yeah, ready. Yes, sure, no, ready. Yes, 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 exactly, exactly. It's the imperative of ready. I was thinking English ready, like R-E-A-D-Y. No, yes, you're correct. It's the imperative of ready.
All right. So make it or cause that cause that one brings to me, or make one bring to me.
Perfect. Yes. Cause that one bring to me.
Let's see, why. The uh-oh. So I know why can be the, but it's not in this case. So
No, one
why
could be a, you're right, but it can also be simply,
One.
that's right.
this one, okay. One, two, one or like it, or bring to me one like it, or as it, or like it.
And you had it correct. Literally, it says one of like it. But um, in English, of course, we want to leave that out. So yeah, Costa one brings to me or brings me one like it. With the whole story I just gave you, that a dog could well be his fate, of course, is a bit of an issue. I mean, obviously, this being the setup for a fairy tale. So he's asking exactly for what should not happen. Costa one, bring me one like it. Well,
And
what
how old is this Doom Prince at this stage where it says the child?
he's a young man, I think, because next he's going to run away from home after he has the dog for a while. And I forgot why he runs away from home. I think he's just sick of all the rules and all the overprotectiveness, if I remember correctly. And there, of course, runs into a beautiful princess. So he has to be of an age where marriage can be an option. Otherwise, this would be uninteresting. So I would say probably adolescent at this point in time.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because obviously Egypt does have a lot of crocodiles, I think, doesn't it?
Good point, yeah. And there is a crocodile that appears in the story. Or is it a crocodile? I think there is. Yes. The problem is that unfortunately, the latter half is chopped off. So we only have the beginning of the story. We don't have the end. And I've dug for like, is there a parallel story somewhere? Because often fairy tales travel. Like for example, Cinderella, I did find a Chinese version of Cinderella, which is probably 500 years older than the earliest Western attestation. And it's definitely Cinderella because of golden slippers. Okay, not glass slippers, but golden slippers, a talking fish. I mean, there's just so many elements where you basically go like, okay, this is the same story. It's not a vague resemblance. This is the story. It has some details that fell off on the way over to the West or back to the West, however, wherever it originated. So I've been looking for something that would be the Doomed Prince, just I don't know, from India or someplace else in Africa or I don't know what. Haven't found anything, unfortunately. So it's how the story really ends. It goes on quite a bit further, but we don't have the end, unfortunately. Okay, doke. So yeah, here was our imperative, and it's this combo. Imi into give that one bring. So imperative followed by a subjunctive, properly recognized. So yeah, great job. I hope that was a bit of fun. Let's go to the negative imperative next. Yes, doing good time-wise. So this one works differently. You don't just put like a not in front of it, but you're actually doing the same thing that you do in English. In English, when we want to form a negative imperative, you use don't, do not. I cannot say, speak not to me. That sounds very Shakespearean or older. You have to say, don't speak to me. And in Egyptian, it's the exact same thing. You use M as the negative particle, adverb, whatever you want to call it. I'm not quite sure what to call this. And then you add the you add ir, and then you add an infinitive. In Coptic, that becomes emper. You would think it would be emr, but somehow, often when you have these kind of syllable boundaries with an M, there's like an intrusive P, and that's what happens here. So emper is actually emir originally. And so then you just follow that by the infinitive of whichever verb you want to use. And for example, well, here's an example. I think since the vocabulary is known, just go for it. Ignore the U. For some reason, he's spelling a W here to indicate plural. There's no indication that there really was a separate plural form. So just treat this as if it was a singular. But what do you make out of the sentence?
That's right.
Mhm.
So we have UF Jed Geru.
Mhm.
Geru. Yeah, Geru. Iri Jedef.
Yeah, what do you think these things are?
Probably Duef, maybe.
It's probably a two, but I think you're correct there. They're just trying to spell out the final T of Jedef, so I'm going to keep it this way. I think you have it right correctly. Okay, what do you think it means? Oops.
He said,
Uh-huh.
is this Geru is the word for silent here? Silent or
Correct. Oh, it's the verb actually, like to be silent. Mhm.
Okay. And he said, be silent. And don't make or don't speak or don't say it.
Don't say it. The F in this case is it. Because the it is now masculine, not feminine, like in Middle Egyptian. Perfect. So it's really just like in English. M do not, don't say, don't do, don't, don't do, don't, don't, Jedef, don't say it. Well done. Okay, perfect. Here's another one.
Iref on.
That is, I think you said M.
Emir.
Yes.
Iref on.
Um,
So don't do it again.
That's exactly what it says. Don't do that again, or don't do it again. Mhm. And it's really the infinitive here. So it's not an ir su or something, it's F, because this here is your negative imperative, and then comes the infinitive. Don't do it again. You got it. Perfect. Oops, very cool. And that's really almost all that can be said about the negative imperative. But with for one thing, for D or at D, you can still use the M directly. So you don't have to say M ir D, but you can just say MD. So I'll do a quick example here. MD wa'ar, wa'aru. Actually, I should spell this out. Transliteration. Die wa'aru khair MD, I guess. MD Hekeru. Hang on, we need space. Here we go. That's interesting. Insofar as Wa'ad is escape. So MD, Wa'adu, don't let them escape, basically. Don't give that they escape. It's not give that they don't escape, but it is don't give that they escape. In other words, don't let them escape. And then kher is and. Kher, MD, don't give chekeru, that they be hungry. And don't let them be hungry, basically. This is talking about military recruits. If you read the text, like for example, there's one Chester Beatty papyrus, I think, that talks about the sad life of the soldier, at least from a scribe's perspective. And basically, they get beaten a lot and constantly commanded around and whatnot. So I think this reflects that kind of situation. Don't let them escape, but also don't let them go hungry. Somewhere in the middle is good. So yeah, cool. How about the one underneath? Our Horus and Seth, people should know this one.
Well, I can try it.
All right.
So we're starting with the M. So G D.
Mhm.
Is that then Neb or
The little
that?
T here on top,
Oh,
I would ignore that because honestly, I don't think it's
D,
pronounced here. It's a T tech.
okay, D R E R E
Mhm.
N Sahru.
Mhm.
Um, mm, mm, hra, something.
This one's tricky. It literally says Chemet, which is, of course, the number three, like Shomt or Shomant in Coptic. I think that is a spelling mistake. It should really be, because you see the little don't know arms at the bottom. That's really the verb chem, to not know. And yeah, he spelled it like it's the word three. It isn't. It should really be this, chem. So
So,
in chem, but not just any chem, but chem,
nen.
right. And very often in Late Egyptian, double N is really just a single N. So this is really just a Remnen. Okay, this one's a bit more tricky, but what do you make out of it?
Um, okay, I'll sort of guess. So does md mean do not?
Correct. Not do not, but don't
Don't give us.
don't give, yeah.
And then is the n to us?
Hang on. Um, don't give. Which one? Then you have
It's iri n.
yeah. The n is we or us, but what do you make out of the whole thing together? Irian.
Do not do to us.
You could think, actually, not a bad guess. Um, mm, how do I do this? It could also be if you just have the verb with a suffix after it, like
Um,
iri, irik, irich,
us,
iris, iref,
us, we.
we, and iri is what?
I thought that meant to do.
Correct. To do or to make, yeah. Don't give, we make. We make secheru.
Now I ought to know this. I can't remember what it is. Children.
Nee, that's geredu. Secher is plan or state. In this case,
Ooh.
plan fits.
Okay, plans
Mhm.
of human. Um, for tomorrow.
Go again.
For tomorrow.
That actually does exist, but no, this is not it. Chem was ignorance. So chemnen. Oh,
Ooh.
emen.
Ignorant plans. Do not let us make ignorant plans.
That's pretty much it. Literally, it says in our ignorance. In our
Oh,
foolishness.
hemen in our ignorance.
That's right. That is from Horus and Seth somewhere, where basically the gods are saying, don't let us come to a decision without really knowing what the situation is or what the relevant facts or the relevant procedures are. So, but let's go back to that grammatically. I'm just going to delete my translation here. That just messes up the screen too much. So yeah, it basically is don't give. In English, we can't do this. It literally says give not that we make plans in our ignorance. That's basically what they're saying. In English, we have to use don't, but the interesting thing is with the verb d in Late Egyptian, you don't have to. You can just say not give. So give not that we make plans in our ignorance, that we come to a decision without basically being aware of all the facts. You can, however, construct MD with MIR. So you can really say, and that's what the last example here is all about, MIR, don't, dit, petrisu. What do you think that means? MIR, dit, petrisu.
Is it cause that I don't see him?
Correct. Exactly. Or rather, don't let me see it or him. That's right. So you can use MIR with D. You just don't have to. You can just say MD. So this could also have been MD Petrisu, or you can expand it like for all the other verbs with ir, MIR or MIR dit Petrisu. So this is like a lot of verbs one after another, right? Iri, in the negative imperative, abdi in the infinitive, and then afterwards is a subjunctive, Petri, that I see. So this is a nice stack of three different verb forms, one after another. Kind of cool when you think about it. All right, questions about this?
Can I ask just a quick question about this? To not know, if that means to not know, what is the word to know? Is it
Recht.
similar?
Recht. So they're completely different. That's interesting that Egyptian has that to know and to be ignorant are two different verbs. Rech is to know. It's a bit of a bugbear the way it is being constructed, because literally it means just like in Latin, noscere, it means to get to know, to become aware of something, to learn basically. So you have to use it in a past tense to mean to know because it means you've learned something. And rem is the opposite in the sense of it basically means you're ignorant of something. And that's already there in Middle Egyptian. That's not a new thing, as far as I can recall. There is another good question. There is another way how to make a negative imperative. I didn't give an example sentence for it, but you can see it. You can use the term verb, which you normally use to negate infinitives. So you can also say, for example, term D, literally, I can't do it in English because we don't have a separate infinitive ending, but it's like not giving, or, you sometimes see that when people make Spanish infinitives, like, I don't know, no estacionar, no parking, like a car here or something. That's the same thing here. So you use tem and then the infinitive. Anybody remember this thing? That was super annoying 20 years ago. A lot of people had that. The little Billy Bass that would, when you press the button, would sing,
Yes,
"Don't
my mother
worry,
had
be
one of
happy."
those.
Say again?
Yes. I said, yes, my mother had one of those.
Our neighbor had one of those. And I mean, basically, that's what we have here. Do, 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 do,
Hated
do,
them.
do, 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 do. Um, uh, So to give your heart onto a thing is literally to worry about a thing. So did chatik imchet is worry about something. So and then tem dit chati imchek. Chatik imchek is the don't give your heart, or not giving your heart onto anything basically means don't worry. I didn't put the be happy, but yeah, there you go. All right, now try to get that song out of your head. We still have a few more minutes. That's good. I had one more example text which has a few negative imperatives in it. And I was thinking, let's just go through it. This is from an Ostrakon, I think. Should be. Starts with an O. Just why is there a P here? Okay, not sure. But it is basically a letter by a father to his son. It's actually a bit of a cry for help. And I have a few words glossed down here. So profession, Sechau is of course a scribe, but a Sechau Kedu is a draftsman. So that is the person who would like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, like put the design on the wall. You first you do like all the outlines and then you do all the fine work, all the little itty bitty stuff. So the Sechau Kedu is essentially the person in charge of the design and of putting the outlines on the wall. So it's a pretty important job. And so that's what the father is. That's his job. Cha'a is to put, becomes ko in Coptic. To put the back of your head, the ha, is to turn away from somebody. The somebody you turn away from is constructed with the preposition are. Chesed we had before under adverbs long time ago, in good condition or simply okay, all right. That's what that is. Gerech is to stop. What else do we have? Then we have a few words here, just nouns. Zeti, ochre. Sechet is a brick, like basically any kind of Yeah, bird-shaped thingy. Mestemit is black eye paint, that kind of black eye makeup. And this one we had in Hose and Cess before, I think. Geb or Gab, weak. All right. And with that being said, let's just go straight into it if somebody wants to take it.
I'll take a stab at it, but I'm going to need some help.
Sounds good. Let's go for it. Hang on. Oh,
Jedet and Zahakedu or Zahaked.
mhm.
Uh, Pi and Saef.
Mhm. There's a little curveball here, but yeah. And Saif, guess.
Zahakedu. Haru.
Could be. But I think it's Pari because look at how it goes
Okay.
on.
Hare Chetpu.
That's right. So that's probably his name.
Oh, this is a name. Okay. All right. Of course. Emir. Ha. Ek. Ri.
Eri, yes.
Nentui Sheser.
And then is Ben. It's just an old style of writing. Just great job.
Okay, so the draftsman said to his son.
Hang on, I'll give you another hint here.
Wait.
That's actually the father's name, Pai.
Oh, okay. The draftsman Pai. Wait. The draftsman Pai said to his son, the draftsman Harehotep, do not turn away from me. I am not in good condition.
Correct. That's exactly it.
Names always kill me. They look like words. You get tripped up on them.
Right, and especially this one that looks like a Mai, and then you go like Mai what? That's what I'm saying. It's a bit of a curveball here. I also had to double check. Like, is that the guy's name? Yes, it is. I'm not quite sure what's going on with this jet in. I wonder if it's supposed to be jet in? Question mark. Because that would be more in keeping with a letter. Why would you have like a Sejaman F, which is like a super literary form at that stage, at the beginning of a letter to a family member? So I think maybe it's supposed to be jet in and they're just spelling it phonetically. Maybe. So that's me from the future with a quick correction / addition. That Jetten form we were just now looking at is actually a past relative. So Jetten, just like in Middle Egyptian, what it means is what was said by, and then comes the person who said it. So, for example, here in this letter, Jetten Achmose, etc., etc. This is actually pretty common. At the time, it was new to me, was new to us, but we've since seen it in many texts. It's common in letters. So here's one example published by Pete. Here's another one. Jetten Sesh Hui, so what the scribe Hui said. You can also find it in declarations. We've seen it not too long ago in a protocol of a court case, or here we have a declaration on day so and so, jet 10, etc. So this is actually fairly common. As wanted to point that out, and back to our text. Great job. That's exactly what he says. So here's a negative imperative, emir ra'a. Don't put, don't, or emir ra'ahak, don't turn yourself away from me, for I am not all right, basically. I'm not in good condition. Very good. Good job. All right. Next one.
So, heri? Nei, ger.
That's correct. Gerif.
Remit any.
Mhm.
So do not stop. Do not stop crying for me.
That's correct.
When to e. Pa went ui. Empai. Empa.
I mean, there's
Ne-
something missing here. I should have done this better. So there's basically a gap here. Parwen, Tui, M. Yeah, the assumption is that it says Ka something like darkness, but we don't really know this. So there's something missing here. Mhm.
Okay. Nebi, Eamon, ha ha ha. HHF. Eri.
Uh, yeah, that's right. Very. And this here would normally be super difficult, but since he just used that verb a moment ago, I would assume he probably said "Cha'a nebi imim chaf eroi." I'm guessing that's what he's saying. Like I said, there is something missing in the middle. Hmm.
So when went is that the negative? No, this
The pa when?
past tense converter, or is it?
You would think, but pa when is its own thing. It's a late Egyptian way of saying because.
Okay. Because I am in the darkness, I guess,
Correct. Mhm.
and Lord Amun is turning away from me.
Right. Lord Amun has turned away from me. Correct. That's the most likely reconstruction of that line. Unfortunately, it's a little bit broken, but yes. Why do we know it's darkness? Well, because of what follows. Otherwise, that would be difficult to guess. Hmm. Great job. So another negative imperative. Don't stop crying for me, basically. All right.
How does M remit crying? It's not another negative. Don't cry.
Oh, geez. Gerich Emremi. That is a really good question.
I just read that don't cry, don't stop in crying for me.
Right. But why M? I hope I have that right, actually. Give me a quick moment. There's always the possibility that I copied it wrong. I think I have the text open somewhere.
Oh, maybe it's like don't stop in crying.
That could be one. M can also be away from in like
Mm.
verbs of with verbs of motion. Emi gerech. Oh, there is a gap in between. I missed that. My bad. Sorry. I don't. There is a gap. So maybe there's another piece in between. I apologize. I didn't see that when I looked at the text. I mean, in the translation, it just go like, "Don't stop to cry about me." But now that I see this, there is a gap. That's interesting. Is there commentary on this? With commentary. Let's see. It just says reconstructed like this according to DL Medina online. Um, that's all we have. That's a good question. We'll probably have to look up the secondary literature on this. I'm not sure because you're right. The M is a bit weird. Could take a look at how Gerich is normally constructed. Although that's a bit of a bunny ride, but could be an interesting follow-up to just see if there is. I'm just looking quickly here. If there's any place where gerech is followed by a verb. You could see how that works. But that's a really good point. I didn't see that. No, different gerech. Destroyed. That doesn't help. Oh. No, this is not followed by a verb either. Nope. Nope. Huh, good question. Don't know. We'll have to check. Okay. Here. This is good. Ger ir tutu ger. Tutu is one, right? Tutu ger gerech, to stop. Emhui, to hit. To hit what? Na'it, the corn, or the grain. So this is talking about what do you call this in English? That activity where you hit the say again?
Threshing.
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 Yes, threshing. Oh, it's like in German actually, dreschen, threshing. It's the same thing with the usual consonant change. So once people have stopped threshing the grain, so this is actually gerich em hui na'id. So this is constructed with M. So apparently M is a thing, at least based on this one example.
It's
We
great.
need to see if there are more, but that's kind of cool. M can be away from, like to leave from a city or something. You would emtime or mute from the city. So that actually kind of fits. Cool. Great observation.
Great. Okay.
Where were we? So let's continue. 2 more lines. I think we can manage. Any takers?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right.
All right, so we have any tu or any tech, any m neket. I can't see. Are those just is that a B there?
It is a B.
Yep. Bit.
That's right.
Ni irti.
Yeah, what is this? Irti, right? Irti. Yes. Well done.
Mimet.
Mittet.
Seti.
That's right. That was the seti is the orca. The next part is a bit tricky. That's an explanation or a detail about the seti. It's not super important, but let's do it.
Uf im sechet.
Right?
Lim.
Oh, yes. This here is Wechem.
Wahem, that's what I meant. Wahem, sorry. Wahem. Mesedmet.
Mesdemet, yes, that's right.
And we have Ma'at.
That's right. This, I think, I always get that wrong. And then there's some more stuff on his list, but it's tricky, so I'll just keep it here. So you get a feel for what he's actually asking.
So bring to me, or I guess return to me. Oh wait, where am I at here? Yes. So one bring. Oh no, is this passive?
I was just stuck on the same thing, and I apologize. It has been a few weeks, right? Why is there a two? Why does he not just say Enoch? I have a suspicion. Let me quickly confirm that.
Come to me.
Neveu doesn't have this. I could have sworn that ini is one of the two verbs that could have a special subjunctive. May you bring, but because now I can't find it. Let's see. Is that in Chernikol, maybe. I think that's what that is. Let's ask for help. It's not it. There we go. In context. Intec. Let's see how they pass this. I would pass it as a subjunctive. No comment on this. It says with commentary. Give me the commentary. No, it just says that the very end, the part that I chopped off, is not clear. Let's treat it as a subjunctive. I think ini can have an extra T in there. There are two verbs that have a special form for the perspective, which is e, already Middle Egyptian, and I think ini is the other one. I'll look it up after our session and post it in the channel, but I think that's what it is. So just treat it as if it was inek, but I think this is okay. Intec, basically. May you bring.
And you should bring to me. Come to me with some honey.
That's right. And some
Little honey.
And irti.
For my eyes.
Right.
Me metet. And also.
And also. And likewise, but it just means and also.
And likewise, some ochre and ochre.
And then he's specifying it. Ochre uf emsechet wechem. That part is a bit tricky. I just provide it basically. I mean, this replaces a relative sentence, uf, because it's not a defined noun. Some are ochre, so you can't use enti. You use what's the word? Circumstantial. So it being, namely the ochre, emsechet wechem, in brick form. But why wechem? Wechem could be again, like if you had put it into brick form again, or I've seen people translate it as fresh. Let's not get stuck on it. He's saying he wants a brick of ochre, and why there's a wechem in there, can't tell you. Not familiar with this. What about the next one? What else does he want to have?
Sedet ma'at. Does mesedet also mean, I want to say to fight, no, against? I was just looking at that earlier. Mesedet.
Mesdemet. It's down here.
Black eye paint. Okay. Or real eye paint, or?
All right. Not the fake stuff of the internet, but the real one. Okay, yeah, exactly. So, and the interesting thing is there is actually in one of those medical papyri, there is a prescription very similar to this for eye disease. So apparently it's a thing. Don't know if it works, but obviously what he's asking for here is not unusual. So for his eyes, he would like to have honey, a brick of ochre, and real eye paint. And then follow some more specifications, which are not completely clear, but it sounds pretty urgent. Like basically, please give me this. This is pretty serious in a way because his job is draftsman, right? You need your eyes. At the same time, you're always in the dusty environment of the tomb where you have tons of stone dust. It's kind of understandable that this could lead to eye disease. So it certainly is it's a serious condition from a job perspective. Are we still good with 5 more minutes, or is one sentence left? If you're all
Yeah,
good, say
just to say that having black eye paint on your ill, sick eyes doesn't seem like a great idea. It's like saying, I can't see well, put mascara in my eyes. That will really help.
I was surprised by that too.
I could have a little experience with this. So when I was a little bit younger, I was dabbling in Islam, and we were bringing over stuff from Sudan, and apparently the stuff that's called khol,
Mhm.
is the word, I think, khol.
Yep.
You put it on the bottom of your eye in a corner, and it literally would trace the bottom of your eye out. And they said it was good for your eye, but later on I found out it had lead in it.
Mm.
So I was like, I
That's
don't
gonna
think I
help.
should put lead in the eye.
Right. Well, that's kind of scary. I love traditional medicines. I know it better for China. Some traditional medicines contain arsenic or other lead compounds, all sorts of fun stuff. But people swear by it, and it's been used for millennia, or at least for centuries. Who knows? I mean, honey has antibacterial properties, so that part makes sense. And the ochre could be cooling, I've read. And yeah, for the eye paint, like you said, it could just be, it's good for you.
Did you say Kirilan just then?
Say that again.
Khol.
I'm sorry.
Did Christopher use the word Kirolan?
Khol.
Cool.
Oh,
Spelled like this.
Khol.
Oops. Well, in English, like this, I
Right.
believe.
Khol. Yep.
oh, okay, good. Thank you.
All right. So that is the plea, what you would like to have. There are like three more sentences.
Yeah, I can go.
Okay.
So we have Is bin Inek Bayek Def.
Yes.
Bayek Itef. Or eat, not Itef, eat.
Right. Classical guilt tripping. What is he saying?
Not, I am not, I am not your, I am not your father. Am I not your father?
Correct.
Is that what that-
Isbin is like a rhetorical question. Of course, the answer is yes. Am I not your father? Like, shouldn't you be helping me?
Gerti Gab.
Mhm.
Gabu. Gab.
That's right. And we had that one down here. Gab is weak.
And then we have Ti Her Waha. Waha Ir-I. Ir-Ti.
That's
Yep.
correct.
And then Ninsu. Or Ninse. Yep.
From context.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, Sue would be correct. I mean, he's spelling Sue. You're correct. All right.
So am I not your father? And then we have and well, I'm not. I forgot the particle Ger.
Red is and.
And I am weak. And I see the verb wacha. What is
To
wacha?
search, look for.
And I search. Oh, and I search with. Or I search for my eye
Correct.
with my eyes.
For my eyes, yeah.
And not it. Or
Yeah.
no,
Nen
no,
is the negative of when. Like in Middle Egyptian.
but it's a. You say it's the so not without it.
Without it, or a little bit more literally, when would be it is there, right? And none?
Oh, not there. Not
Correct.
not
Then
there.
say.
There. So it is not there.
Correct. They are not there. That's right. So that's actually pretty dramatic. He says, I'm looking for my eyes, in other words, for my eyesight, then say, and it's not there. I can't see. So yeah, a real slice from 3,300 years ago. Oh, maybe 3,200 years ago. I guess I overestimated the time a bit. But yeah. So yeah, there you go.
You also think one reason for failing eyesight too could have been just overexposure to just bright sunlight or just prolonged darkness.
I don't know. It could be.
Training of the eyes.
I wonder what the dust does to you.
Précédemment dans Ennemi public.
Désolé, nous n'avons pas pris rendez-vous. J'attends.
Oops. It's trying to switch to another language for a moment. Like, what's going on?
Well, that is one of the uses for coal, is actually sunlight. It's meant to, if you line your eyes with coal, it's meant to sort of damp down the sunlight that's getting
really?
your eyes. I don't know how true that is, but I know that that's one of the uses.
Interesting. I had no idea.
That's where American football gets it from. Their football players will put a
Oh, is
black
that right?
line.
I thought it was just to
Exactly.
look intimidating. You mean there's a practical purpose to this? I thought it was like war paint, Okay. Didn't know that. I mean, there's so many things. Sun, yes, for sure. But also like darkness because you're working in the tomb, so who knows how well that's illuminated. I'm also wondering, what about stone dust? There has to be a ton of dust, and that's not particularly good, neither for your lungs nor for your eyes. So could be all sorts of things. But we definitely do have prescriptions for what to do about eye disease that is in the medical papyri. And we can see that here somebody had very clear ideas what he wants for his case. Whether he got that from the doctor, we do know that in Deir el-Medina there was both a medical doctor and like a snake and scorpion charmer. So you have like a medical professional and somebody more like in charge of the magical side of things. And you can go to both depending on what you need. So maybe he got it from them. Maybe he just knows what's good for him. Who knows? But basically, that's the ingredients that he writes to his son about. Kind of cool. Yeah. All right, that's all I had for today. But bunch of negative imperatives in here with emir. Also a subjunctive in here, so you can switch. It doesn't have to be all imperative. Please give me is better expressed with the subjunctive, but the exhortation, don't turn away from me, don't stop crying for me, etc. That is definitely a negative imperative, and I'll leave it at that. For next time, I think we're getting into the next chapter, which is, I believe this. Oh no. Oh, when? Okay, cool. Chapter 22. The verb when. That should be comparatively quick. Cool. See you all, well, next week for Horus and Seth, or for Ramesses in 2 weeks.
Thank you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.